everyone, it's Jessica Rhodes, founder of InterviewConnections.com, and I'm coming to you here from my office. It is morning time. I have not started working quite yet. I still have Nathan with me. And I wanted to share a quick tip from my podcaster friends out there on how to be a great host to your guests. Now, I think a big mistake a lot of people make when they start a podcast is they think too much about how it's going to build their business and how it's going to get them new clients and how it's going to build their list, and they don't focus enough on how to just be a great host and how to welcome people onto your show, make them feel welcome, put the spotlight on them. Yes, you're starting a podcast to bring new business and to build your audience, but if you focus too much on yourself, people are going to notice that and they're not going to feel as compelled to share. Same thing when you have guest interviews on your show. If you focus as much as possible on having the spotlight on your guest, the power of reciprocity comes into play. People will feel that need to want to highlight you, right? A really good example of this is Entrepreneur on Fire. I mean, since John Lee Dumas has become a big success, a lot of people want to start a podcast too, but they think too quickly of how to put the spotlight on them. The way John became successful is he put the spotlight all on his guests, right? And he hosted such great interviews that his guests just loved sharing it because it was the 30-minute interview where they were the spotlight. And so that's just a really great example. So just wanted to give a couple of thoughts there on just check your mindset when you start a podcast. Don't think too much about how it's going to spotlight you. If you focus all on spotlighting your guests, they will feel the need to share the interview, and then in turn you're going to be spotlighted. One last quick thought: when you do have a guest on your podcast, at the very beginning of the recording, before you actually click record, have a quick conversation with them to welcome them to the show. Let them know how the episode is going to be structured. Let them know how long the recording will be. Ask them if they have any time constraints, if they need to end at 25 minutes or if they can go for 45 minutes to an hour. Make sure you know that before you start recording. If you plan on doing the intro at another time, let them know, okay, we're going to start the interview. I'll record the intro at another time, so we're just going to get right into the interview. Then when I say goodbye on the recording, hang on for a second, I'll stop the recording, and then we'll say goodbye. So just make sure they know that, because when you're recording the interview at the very end, you'll say, great, thanks so much for having us, or, thank you so much for coming on the show. And then you're going to stop the recording. Make sure the guest knows what's going to happen after that recording stops. Do they just hang up the phone, or do they hang out for a minute to say goodbye, without the recording? So I hope that helps. If you are starting a podcast and you want to be interviewing entrepreneurs and guest experts, I can help you with that at InterviewConnections.com. If you have any questions, follow my blog at EntrepreneurSupportServices.com. I am a podcast consumer and I work with a lot of podcasters, so I like kind of sharing my perspectives as somebody who's not actually hosting one. Everyone, hope you have an awesome day, and we will talk to you soon.